Welcome to Center of Light, all you sexy Yanavites. Good to see you. Keith Anthony Blanchard here. Everything's backwards. Yanava. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today. I got a little pumpkin patch going on. I like the decorations. Gets me into the spirit. Hello, everyone. Tonight is Center of Light. Let me check something real quick. Tonight's Center of Light Rebuild. Hurricane Ida. About 6-7 weeks ago, Hurricane Ida crashed into South Louisiana. And I'm not exaggerating. It looked like an atomic bomb went off down there. I have some footage, some images, and it doesn't even touch what happened. I went down to South Louisiana recently, spend time with my dad, which I do once or twice a year, and got to see it firsthand. Wow. Wow doesn't cut it. I helped my dad do some things in the yard around the house. It gave me great pleasure. Lots of wonderful joy. Honestly, it just illuminated me in this moment. You saw my face light up. Something on some level I don't understand yet was completed between my father and myself. We all would do anything for anyone, meaning me, but my father. I had the opportunity to do something for my dad, who's done so much for me. I got on a tractor, it's called a zero spin. Hello, Rhiannon Mayer. Everyone, I play music with Rhiannon Mayer. She's a singer for the Rhiannon Mayer Band, or Birds of Rhi, whatever name she's going to decide on soon, hopefully. Good to see you, dear. Robert, when you wrote Hello, Hi Yanava, it was a translation opportunity, so I translated it and it said, Hi, this is not that. So Yanava means, Hi, this is not that. I like that. Hello, Gina, Lisa, Messerole. So tonight we're speaking about the devastation to South Louisiana. Tonight is Center of Light Rebuild. There is a purpose for destruction. We discover that purpose when we move into construction, reconstruction, to reconstruct the fabric of our society. Sometimes it throws us into anxiety. I get it. And we get very flighty. But we must ignite the fire within and rebuild. 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 Do you take the opportunity to rebuild yourself every day? It's called nobility. Do you examine, reflect, not dwell, but reflect on yesterday, last week, last month, last year, over the years to 10 years, over the course of your life? Hello, Bob, brother Bob. The course of your life. Think about that. That sounds delicious. The course. What is the course of your life? The course, of course. What is the course of your life? What is your trajectory? What are you aiming for? What is your focal point? Where do you hope to be in 5 years? Get started now so that in 5 years from now, in hindsight, 2020, rather 2021, you can go, I've won. I've done the work. Don't regret this powerful, opportune time to celebrate your life and rebuild. Not that you're broken from rebuild, but rebuild for the sake of not ever being broken, because you're solid, you're planted. I understand hardships like Hurricane Ida did engulf the South Louisiana, Mississippi, flooding. We're going to get to some of that. But I had the opportunity to help my father. One aspect, he's my dad. My dad, my good dad, beautiful man, talented, loving, selfless, down-to-earth, Cajun man. Dad. Another aspect, he's my father. I didn't go down there to help my dad. I went down there to help my father. It humbles me. So let's get down to some presentation tonight. A Center of Light Rebuild, Hurricane Ida. We can get with the program or not. Either way, hurricanes will be coming. And I don't mean just hurricanes. I mean, storms of our life are coming. Sounds like a bad affirmation. That's not what it's intended to be. It's intended to be looked at honestly to see all potentiality of what we have done, what we have not done, but are conscious of, and or doing the work to go to the level of finding out unconsciously what we had never even thought about could ever possibly exist. Rebuild. We're going to go into support Center of Light mode. Going to be right back here shortly. Merch to perch. Thank you, Robert Harrison. Tonight's presentation goes out to everyone affected by Hurricane Ida, as well as the passing through a rite of passage to the other side. Franco Di Nicola, I didn't know the man very well, but he is a pillar in the spiritual community. He was a light, serious light. He's done his work. He's done his research. He's done his science. He's done his meta-science, his metaphysical work. And he left this world in a bang, and he's a force to be reckoned with. Bless you forever, my brother. Godspeed. Support Center of Light. Be right back. Welcome out to Center of Light tonight, a Center of Light Rebuild. Hurricane Ida. This bitch, this spiritual bitch came in with a vengeance. She was a beautiful bitch. Created a beautiful mess that is allowing everyone to recollect, recoup, regather themselves in unity to rebuild. I got a video I'm going to play here shortly, as well as some images. Hello, Roxanne. Of what's going on in South Louisiana currently as they rebuild their lives and their livelihood. Wow. Let me see if there's anything on the agenda here. Don't think so. Oh, also, for those who watched the video of Support Center of Light, these gifts are mostly applicable to the United States. When it comes to Canada, they want your arm, your leg, and your firstborn child to ship out of country now. As of 3 weeks ago, it went up from $15 to Canada to $40. Does anyone know the definition of the word gouging? But in the Support Center of Light video, thank you, Robert, the lotus flower incense holder, which can hold multiple incense, will come a pack of Nag Champa Agarbati incense from Southeast Sai Baba. Dear Lord, it makes me want to just pull this out and start eating it like candy. Welcome to Center of Light. I always do this. It's important to me that we get clear so that the mind is not filtered with any nonsense. When any of the 5 elements are out of balance, if the element of air is out of balance, it will bring hurricanes and tornadoes. When the element of water, which is emotion, is out of balance, it will bring water. When the element of fire is out of balance, it will bring fire. Amazon, Australia, Africa, California, so forth and so on. And when the element of earth is out of balance, guess what happens? The earth begins to shake to the beat of the universal drum, moving the ground beneath our feet. And when the element of space is violated, it'll shift this all kind of cray-cray into God knows what. Hello, 2021. Hello, Kim Gary. Let's get down with the presentation. So I'm going to read you something from Wiki on Hurricane Ida. I'm going to be bouncing around because it is long. When these sorts of calamities happen, which do not have to happen at all. Yes, it's exactly what I'm saying. When we come together in unity and balance all of our 5 elements, earth, air, water, space, what's the other one I'm missing? You get the idea. Things begin to happen. So when we come together in unity and balance ourselves individually and collectively, none of this has to happen. But it is happening all across the world. Not only tornadoes and hurricanes, we're talking about a new breed called superstorms. Hurricane Ida is a superstorm. From Wiki, Hurricane Ida. Wow. Hurricane Ida was a deadly and destructive Category 4 Atlantic hurricane that became the second most damaging and intense hurricane to make landfall in the United States of Louisiana on record, behind Hurricane Katrina in 2005. In terms of maximum sustained winds at landfall, 150 miles an hour, Ida tied 2020's Hurricane Laura and the 1856 Last Island hurricane. Last Island was something my father told me about when he was a young boy off the coast of South Louisiana. As the strongest on record in the state, the remnants of the storm also caused widespread tornadic destruction and catastrophic flooding across the northeastern United States. This is where I'm going to skip a whole bunch. A whole bunch. As of September 15th, a total of 115 deaths have been confirmed in relation to Ida, including 95 in the United States and 20 in Venezuela. In the United States, 33 total deaths were in Louisiana, 30 in New Jersey. Wow, that's way up there. 18 in New York, 5 in Pennsylvania, 3 in Mississippi, 2 in Alabama, 2 in Maryland, and 1 in Virginia, and 1 in Connecticut. Notable indirect deaths included a Louisiana man who was mauled to death by an alligator. Alligators come across my father's yard after an alligator walking through Ida's floodwaters in Slidell. 2 electrical workers who died while repairing power grid damage from the storm. People who are linesmen, when they get out of their comfort zone or whatever they're doing daily, they go to catastrophic locations and they work. And they work. And they're loved so much, people bring them food and say, if you need a place to sleep, you can come in my house. Hurricane Ida, is the 6th costliest tropical cyclone on record, having caused at least $65.25 billion in damages, of which $18 billion was insured losses in Louisiana, of which $250 million was in Cuba, and $584 million from agricultural damage in the United States. We get the idea. Mother Earth was releasing. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. I'm going to take a short song break. Going to be right back. I'm going to show you a video and some clips of what it looked like recently when I went to South Louisiana to help my father. And I got on a zero. I forgot to say this. I was on a 0-point lawnmower, which means you can turn it like a zero. I enjoyed it. The breeze was phenomenal. I was helping my dad. I was in bliss, just being there in my home. And like I said a little bit earlier, something about my being there, helping my father rebuild, there was a something that was complete. How about time for a change? The world is changing. It's changing. Things are going to have to be moved around, moved out to usher in the new world. And the new world is something that is not outside of you. Neither shall they say, seek here or there. Seek ye the kingdom of God within. Destruction and rebuilding are not any different from one another. Here we go. Hurricane Ida. I'm going to give you some commentary. This is how close I am to the water in South Louisiana. There's no more water left. And then there's no more land left. This is one of 5 bayous in South Louisiana. This is Cocodrie / Chauvin / Upper Little Caillou. An atomic bomb went off down there, I tell you, in the form of winds. These mostly were tornadic winds, because you will see a flower and some other things non-touched, but right next to it, through a path, was the most amazing destruction. This so does not do it justice at all. That is 2 schooners, large ships on the bank. A house 12 miles away, was lofted into the air and dropped into this bayou. A house, a actual literal house, was lofted and was sent 12 miles and dropped into a bayou. This is my father's land. He took so much pride in creating this background, this scenery, his land. This is what happened to my father's house. He planted those trees 30 plus years ago from saplings. The entire right side of his house was blown out by the unequalized pressure from a hurricane and collapsed to the ground in this rubble. When my father saw his trees that he planted and worked on for 30 years, he cried, as he should have, and so did I. That was my father's roof being gone. What you're seeing now is a RV carport. The top part of that carport is missing because it flew through these two doors into my father's kitchen. This is my father's beautiful land. My father on his tractor removing oak trees, a worker. These branches are heavier than you can possibly imagine. Hello, Jackie. Don't be sad. Thank you, everyone. Don't be sad. Just pray for those. Lift them up. That's it. Here's my dad and one of the coolest workers. I asked him, what do you drink? When you hang out, he says, it depends who I'm dating that night. That was the zero spin tractor. These are the trees that turned to that. Tore my father up. This guy, on top of this apparatus, was so freaking good, he can pick a cherry out of an ice cream. This is my father's spread, his plantation in South Louisiana. My beautiful father. My beautiful father. Burgess Anthony Blanchard, I love you. Who is that sexy man? This is the carport for this RV that flew through the front door that went into the kitchen. Thank God my father wasn't home because he'd be in the kitchen cooking Cajun food. A very large sycamore tree was downed. Tore my father's land up. That was the side of his house that blew out. And there's the rubble. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. The only rhyme I can think of is nomenclature. So the power inherent in such storms, fire, flooding, the imbalance of space. Are we not in an imbalance of space? Many people are not because they're grounded in an imbalance of what is space to many other people. It's time to rebuild, not society. It's time to rebuild humanity and the world. And in so doing, society is included because society is now expanded and graduated into the unification of the human race. And they're trying to race to space. How can we ever grasp the majestic or the majesty until we take in fully and consider compassionately the travesty and the tragic on earth? What is that worth to any of us? It's worth everything to me. And I know for many of you as well. Hell or heaven. What do we choose? It's here. The face of karma is here. We're going to go through some spells, but it does not have to be an ongoing hell. What do we do? look. There is so much that can happen in looking. I don't mean seeing. Seeing means I'm just seeing. Looking means I have an intention. So much can happen in looking. Likewise, so much can happen in listening versus hearing. Are we hearing the call? Are we seeing things fall? This fall, we're in October, moving into November, into December. And then we go to 2022. Many things will be new. Many things will be old and full of mold because we have sold our soul to the nonsense. Well, I understand many of us don't understand the greater possibilities because they just simply have not been readily available. I'm with you on that. A lot of it has been shoved into our face, but we choose to ignore it. And our cognitive dissonance says, well, set a spell. I want to kiss you on your face and give you grace called karma. But either way, Hurricane Ida, either way, we will move into Dharma. But we don't have to go through all of the trouble and the struggle and the storms that come in life. We don't have to go through all the storms that come in life unless we have to. Hello, David. Going to take a song break. Going to be right back. I'm going to do some reading from Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new bestseller. The link is in this forum. You can find it there. Jump seat, purchase it, order it. You won't be disappointed. It'll shift you. But also you can use the same link to give me a review. Please do, each and every one of you. Keith Anthony Blanchard here. Yanava. Happy Halloween. Put on a new mask. Take off the old one. You don't have to ask. I'm going to share this with you. This is nothing against anyone who believes that way. This has to do with me choosing my liberation and the way that I see it to be. A few days ago, I was in an elevator going into a doctor's office for whatever reasons to get something from my son's mother because she works in a doctor's office. I was in an elevator with my son, and as we got into the elevator going down, a gentleman walks in. I held the door open for him, and he had a mask on. God bless him, for whatever reasons he needs one or chooses one. And he says, hey, guy, and I appreciate his concern. I really absolutely appreciate his concern. He said, hey, no worries here. I don't have a virus, and I got my shots. And I said, hey, no worries here. I don't have either one. I didn't say that to light him up or tick him off. I said that as a declaration and a vow to what I hold as the truth for me, that all inner strength comes from that which dwells inside of me, which is infinity. I believe it wholeheartedly. I don't believe it, I know it. For some, for whatever reasons, they transition to the next level. Simply, maybe it's just their turn. None of us have the right to question that or can ever know that. That is so sacred to the individual as to why I choose not to, and the very considerate gentleman in the elevator chooses to. I'll see you shortly. Let's go with some time for a change. It's time for a change. Center of light tonight is rebuild Hurricane Ida. Change is not coming. Change is here. And the only thing that will never change is change itself. When we get used to that idea, integrate that idea, allow that idea, express that idea, we become the embodiments of change. Let peace on earth, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. God bless you. I'll see you shortly. Actually, I don't have that song, so as of, you are perfect in every way.
celebrate. There's a time to trust and a time to love and a time to know who you are. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate who you are. Perfect in every So it's up to you, a plan to make, to promise yourself you'll celebrate. There's a time to love and a time to trust and a time to know you are loved. Time to know you are loved. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate what you are. It's time to celebrate who you are. It's time to celebrate that you are.
Welcome back to Center of Light. It's about clarity. There's nothing else. There's lots of others, but it all falls under being clear of mind. No bullshit. No what if, no disbelief, being pure. So that the power, the fire, the light that lives in all of us will ensure that you are a participant, a willing, embodied, ready and able participant to be the fulfillment of prophecy, the living word. We're all the living word. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? But you are the living word. We're all words in a paragraph. We call this reality until we die. Then the page turns. Here's a double entendre for you. Our lives are sentences that will come to an end after a period. After a period. But we will go on to create new paragraphs, to create new universal stories, different chapters. How long do you think this has been going on? A couple thousand years since humans walked the earth? I'm sorry. The universe has been churning, turning, burning, and yearning. Not for billions or trillions of years. We're talking about sextillions, quadrillions. That's not even it either. It's never started, nor will it ever end. The universe is this big fireball, this conflagration of destruction and rebirth and rebuilding. The universe not only creates, don't kid yourself. God is all powerful. It creates. God is the creator. But also in the creation of its way of being is destruction. Sometimes planets are not viable any longer to the particular galactic system or star system. It gets wiped out. It gets hit by a meteor. Where does that come from? Well, Keith, that's just something that just happened out of happenstance and just... You take God out of the equation, nothing happens. So certain things at certain periods in eternity, not in time, but in eternity, are no longer viable for the expansion of the universe. And they got to go. only to be replaced and respaced by grace, which is a star spilling out its stardust guts all over the galaxy after one just exploded into a supernova. Over and over, send John or Jill Doe right over. The stars spit out their guts all the time. Destruction and rehabilitation are the same. From homecoming crossing the bridge to the soul. My dialogue with Spirit. Keith, it is not enough to see. You must look, and ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all of your heart. Jeremiah 29:13-14. To all my children, for the world to attain heaven and earth, things cannot be as they are now. And I truly see this with the destruction of the planet. Likewise with my father in South Louisiana. As hard as it is on the integrity of the soul, like my father who built his land, his plantation, into this beautiful spread of dwelling, living, it's hard. But the world is changing. To all my children, for the world to attain heaven and earth, things cannot be as they are now. It will take all nationalities, that did say unity, coming together to achieve the goal of love, peace, and unity. Trust that I will guide you in whatever you do. Just remember to breathe. And do your very best to live in love, give in love, be in love, and love you shall receive. It is time you embrace yourselves, embrace all of humanity, embrace the earth. Do this and you embrace God. Join me. This was in 1996 to 1997. This is not about Keith is an accurate kind. That's not about that, but it's about the alignment of that this is absolutely on point. And I asked the question way back when will this cleansing occur? It is happening now, Keith. Take a look around. Can you not see the infrastructures of family? Oh my God. Religion, education, and geopolitics are all beginning to weaken. And I respond without a doubt. But I also see a lot of people, my father, my family, your family, everyone we're acquainted with that has lightning strike in the family, in the world, society. But I also see a lot of people who want to rebuild and are building their lives on the truth. I see it in the news. Heck, I can see it in the eyes of people who don't even know they are searching. It almost seems like everyone is looking for something to fill the hole, H-O-L-E, W-H-O-L-E, the hole, the wholeness we all feel inside. And I respond by continuing, what is going on? And Spirit says, I am answering prayers. And I say, huh? Tonight is Hurricane Ida, Center of Light Rebuild. Keith, you seem to think that the rebuilding of society and everyone's search for truth are different from one another, but they are one and the same. You are all creating these changes by finally recognizing the illusion you have been living in, by realizing your relationship to a cause greater than yourselves, and by deciding to take that cause up. I speak to everyone. A possible future headed your way if nothing changes. The earth will rumble, the water will rise, the weather will be extreme, volcanoes will come alive. Water, deluge and dearth, abundant where it normally is not, absent from where it once was. Tornadoes. What you know as tornado alleys and tornado seasons will become a thing of the past. These mighty winds will occur randomly all year long and descend upon areas never hit before. If you follow the weather reports, you will notice such phenomena already occurring. Hurricanes. There is a great potential for colossal hurricanes. Many coastal areas face probable destruction. The damage wrought may seem beyond repair, but restoration will be accomplished. Tornadoes will accompany hurricanes on their eastward side. This is what happened in South Louisiana. Like I said earlier, there was these cutesy little wheelbarrows with flowers in them, 6 inches from a destructive path for miles. This is tornadic winds. Tornadic winds is what blew out the right side of my father's house. How does a house explode? Is because of pressure. There is 14 point whatever pounds of pressure pushing against the house as well as to the outside of the house. But when tornadic winds surround such a house, as to why they say you should open a window to equal the pressure, when there's 14 pounds of winds pushing outside of the house and nothing to the inside, all there is outward push, and houses explode, as with my father and many other people in South Louisiana. I'm telling you, the video I played earlier so sullies the sacredness of such divine destruction manifested into it's time to rebuild. Out with the old, in with the new. In is the way out. Always in is the way out. Seek ye the kingdom of God within. Without a doubt, we will be able to find ourselves so that we can move about and navigate the wilderness. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I will be Evel Knievel, and I will use the power of my spiritual motorbike to jump any ramp or any hurdle that I need to become the rock star, the celebrity of my own life. Are you doing this? Hope so. The war on you and me and we is not coming. It's here. Just to point the finger at anyone or the universe, the fact that this is our chance, our song, our verse and chorus to become a beautiful symphony. This is not personal. Nothing is personal. Even the person that slapped you in your face, it's not personal. It may be personal in the moment, and you can have the right to defend yourself. It's not personal. The universe speaks to us through everything. Such destruction. Water, wind, fire, earth, space. South Louisiana and many of the lower states, which I learned tonight, even some of the northern states, New Jersey, New York, that people died because of the storm. It doesn't really matter where you are when it's your time. You move back into no time. That time or no time is coming for many of us. In fact, all of us. What do? We don't do anything. What is our best ploy? We sit back, not only just sit back, not because you don't care, but because you care. If you dare, step back, watch the movie, the drama as it unfolds. And then your spirit will guide you to say, here's your cameo appearance. Walk into the film now. And then you insert yourself in a way that is so delicious and powerful. You affect everyone around you. This minute full, this second full, this hour full. And you become full of yourself. So in other words, don't deplete your energies until it's time to speak. I've done this many times. Still do. I remain silent or don't do anything in a lot of things until I feel that I'm about to orgasm. I can't withhold it anymore. So that way when I step out of myself for a reason, the level of explosion and orgasmic energy that is released in this push and receive the sexual experience, but the dynamic of sex. This is not about sex. That's not what I'm talking about. It is about that, and I use this imagery on purpose because everything always breathes in and breathes out. Everything is always taking in and giving out. Everything is always giving and receiving. So your whole life is this intimacy of this sensual dance with your divine parent. That's why we don't take it personally. God works through ordinary people just like you and me. Even those people who are kicking your ass. And you don't have to like it in the moment, and you have the right to defend yourself. But at last, when the experience is over, in hindsight, not 2020, but 2021, you just simply let it go and realize, oh my God, this was a lesson for me. Any aspect of our life that we don't see God, that we don't see joy or happiness, we don't see God. God is always evidence of the presence of bliss. So the levels of our life that we're not feeling blissful, we're not seeing the truth. So when we see the truth, even in things that we don't want to see the truth in, the truth becomes revealed and the lesson becomes forgotten. We've been doing this forever. And when we reach forever again, going down the linear timeline, all of our struggles will be forgotten. But you are not forgotten. We are not forgotten. We are the memory, the personification. See, people think heaven on earth is a future event. In that regard, it is. But it's here now. Like I said last night, Scripture speaks of heaven on earth, and the meek shall inherit the earth as a future tense. But if the meek shall inherit the earth, it means it's already done. And this was authored 2,000 plus years ago. So it's already done. So the only way that we can be one who has won is we need to live in the truth of that it's done. But mind you, we have to move down the linear timeline to get there. And so what is the best way to do that? Step back. See everything as done. But you are watching the movie of how it all unfolded before your eyes. Because when you get to the end of the movie, 2 hours later, because you watched a movie, you will see that it's been done. But it's purposeful that you watch the movie on Netflix to see the unfoldment. So see the unfoldment. But the unfoldment has nothing to do with anyone else but you. Because there are beings who are living in the higher altitudes, the higher spiritual realms, that are no longer in our quandary of seeing such things linearly. You think they don't care? Well, of course they care. That's why they support us in all that we do. But they cannot violate our free will. But still, in the level that they're existing in, it's absolute perfection, universal balance, erection of the truth in the mansion and the palace. They're living in the Stargate and the garden. And they're all in, yes, Elaine, it's a mirror. And they're inviting us to say, I am not better or higher than you. I just got there before you, and I'm saying this is what you are due. Screw around all you want. That's your rite of passage and your birthright to do so. But if you want to chew on something different, I'm going to throw you some spiritual chicken nuggets and some spiritual bones. But when you're ready for the whole spiritual steak, make no mistake. Through hurricane, tornado, fire, or earthquake, you will find yourself back at home. Tonight has been Center of Light, Rebuild, Hurricane Ida. There's a shitstorm coming. It's not a bad affirmation. I use this word deliberately and consciously to share with you that from our evaluation of the English language, as we use words to describe certain events in our life, there is a major shitstorm coming. And I don't mean stock up on toilet paper, because people living in fear, stock up on your spiritual toilet paper. Because we're going to all have to wipe our heinies to collect ourselves in cleanliness so that we don't become tainted with horse shit. Because no matter how smart we think we are, there is an unconscious consciousness that is pretty freaking intelligent, and it knows how to dance all around our own intelligences to bring us further into the illusion. The devil, if there was such a thing, which there isn't, can never own your soul. Your soul does not only belong to God, your soul is God. So the soul is off base, hands off to a devil or demons. But it can manipulate and eat your mind alive and make you believe with all of your will that what you're learning still, as it lies to you, is the truth. So how do I keep myself grounded? You serve people. It will ground you, profound you. It will expound and expand you. You love yourself. There are no rules. All there are laws. The spiritual law is love. If you love yourself, everything on its own, naturally, automatically, by default, begins to blossom inside of you. The world is about to get very noisy. Let it be noisy. You become very quiet. Because in such a way, and in so doing, you will see exactly what you are not, which is such noise and blaring and loudness and mouthiness and blasphemy. Get quiet. Make love to your maker. Have a divine love affair. Hello, Lord. I love you all. Peace, love. Rebuild before it's too late. You know, one thing I learned in South Louisiana, everyone is trying to rebuild. Home Depot and Lowe's, the lines, or you have no idea how long they are. Supplies are limited. So rebuild, restock, refine before the starvation and winter comes, because it's October. And winter is not only coming, it's coming with a vengeance. It's going to be cold, as winters always are. And I love it. I love the cold to some degree. But when we start to freeze in our spirit, and we don't move because we're frozen by the deer in the headlights, when you hear it, you will thaw. You will guffaw. You will laugh. And you'll find yourself whole. In peace you will be, and I will see you in the garden. I love you beyond measure. Take care of yourself.